We get asked all the time, if we didn't live in Portugal, where would we live?
And we are not sure, but in this video we are going to find out, because we have one goal. We have to pick another country than Portugal.
Which is gonna be so difficult, because honestly, Portugal is our paradise. We love this country.
Do you have any place you would move? Gun to your head.
If I was like multi-millionaire and had my own private jet, yeah, I would go live in...
So we have written down what is the criteria for us if we were to find another place to live. And the first and most important one is feeling free.
Bacalhau.
Amelia,
I don't want to leave Portugal.
Amelia, weather, culture and soul, nature, modern convenience, infrastructure, good supermarkets, cost of living and food. That is the foundation of this video.
You forgot one very important criteria, Jon, and that is it cannot be too far away from family in Denmark. That's important for me.
Amelia, I disagree on that. We are old people. We can't move to a place where...
When we get kids, when are they going to see their grandparents if we live so far away?
Amelia,
that was a very good point.
We're going to start by talking about countries that we have ruled out.
Australia.
Like definitely too far away. But then we also
Brazil, also too far away.
Amelia, don't spoil the fun. No, it's not on the ruled out list. No. We have Denmark and Northern Europe. It's cold and expensive.
And it's dark in the winter.
Dubai?
No, soulless.
Fake and soulless. Yeah. It's like one big shopping mall.
In many ways, I would actually say that Australia has all the things we really like. Amazing nature, incredible beaches as well, good food, nice people. It is expensive and it is too far away, but we do love Australia. I think I could live in Spain, because then it's only a short drive to Portugal.
I don't really like Madrid. Valencia is a nice city, but no. Costa del Sol, way too commercial. Barcelona, nice city, but too touristy. Salamanca,
amazing.
Beautiful, but
amazing.
To live?
What about off-grid, like when we went to District Hive? I feel like Spain also has a lot of beautiful nature.
So we have shortlisted 9 countries and places around the world where we could potentially live. And the first one, Amelia, is Bali.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. When we visited Bali, both times actually, we were like, this is the kind of lifestyle we want. But I feel like the second time we saw a big change in Bali as well. It was a little overcrowded, too many expats almost.
We were there last time in 2019, and that was even before it became completely over the top. But first, let's talk about why we love Bali so much. Bali is like amazing climate. It's almost like a utopia in terms of living there. You have a nice villa with a pool, you have the scooter, you have an incredible selection of restaurants.
Oh my God, the food on Bali is incredible.
I mean, I was like, oh my God, this is like the only place in the world where you have everything the same place.
Because you also have like amazing stores, a lot of shops that are really nice, a lot of organic food, and a lot of small communities. I really loved Bali for that reason.
But the main problem with Bali is that they're not doing anything about the infrastructure. So when I was there the first time in 2015, it would take like 25 minutes to go from the airport to Canggu, which is like the hotspot.
And it took 3 hours in 2019.
Not 3 hours. It was like 1.5 hours, 2 hours. It's not 3 hours.
It was 2.5.
What was also amazing with Bali is that it was quite affordable to live there. It was not expensive to have a nice villa. You could rent one long term for 2,000 euros a month, and you would get a nice
high
one.
end.
After the war, a lot of Russians moved to Bali, and
which we don't blame them.
They have made it way too expensive. Everything is in Russian. We have a friend who has a restaurant, and she is taking Russian classes
because she needs to communicate.
So long story short, Bali is not for us anymore.
It's also, too far away. So I traveled in the north of Thailand for a long period, and I actually love the north. The north is it's like a spiritual place. There are so many temples, it's so beautiful, and the life is kind of slow.
Thailand is such a big country that I do believe that we could find places to live, like Chiang Mai. Everyone talks warm about Chiang Mai. We've been to Phuket, but Phuket, honestly, the whole peninsula of Phuket does not appeal to...
Phuket is not for me.
No.
I do like Bangkok.
Oh
my
but
God,
would you live there? It's so hot. If we were to live in Thailand, it would to have some kind of villa kind of remote, off-grid.
Someplace lush. We would have our own little rice paddy and, you know.
Our pet snakes, you know, stuff like that.
Thai food is so good in Thailand.
Get that fucking coconut milk.
Amalia,
Yeah.
you are a quarter Greek,
Greco, yes.
and that's why we want to move to Greece. No.
I think Greece is a good option as well if Portugal didn't exist, you know. You have amazing food, you have a really, really nice culture there. It's also quite affordable and it's beautiful, but you don't have the warm winters.
But I like to romanticize about living in Greece. And they also have an NHR, I believe, like they do here in Portugal with like tax benefits. But one of my main concerns with living in Greece is that they don't really speak English.
But it's easy on the tongue. The Greek language is easy on the tongue.
Usu is easy on the tongue. Sakanagi, moussaka. It ticks all the boxes when it comes to, you know,
Well,
feeling free, weather, culture, soul, nature is very beautiful. Modern convenience, I don't know about
Du skal
that.
tale en lille smule langsommere, for det går alt for jeg kan næsten ikke høre, hvad du siger. Maureen, hvad var det, du sagde?
Fuck snakker du om?
Sorry, det er feedback. Kom nu, skat. Italian food. I mean, come on. Italian wine.
We have spent more than 2 months in Italy, southern Italy, but also driving around. We love Italy, but I remember thinking, it's too much Italian food. It's too much spaghetti. It's too much pizza. There's not a lot of variety in the food. Even when we were in Rome, Italians are nationalists. They love their country and they love their food, and that's why they will not have it if there are non-Italian restaurants. We have a good friend who's Italian. He loves Italian. He's proud of Italy. He's very, you know, he's like, when we go to his house, he puts on Italian music. And I asked him, why don't you live in Italy? And he says the people, they're too aggressive. There's this video where they prank Italians by giving them pizzas they ordered and pineapple. That's what we love about Portugal. Portuguese people are just so chill and relaxed. I can't live a place where people are so uptight.
It's true that Italians are very passionate, but you also kind of see it in the architecture. If you look at, like, this is from the old Roman Empire, you have beauty everywhere you look.
Actually, if we were to move to Italy, we would live in Sardinia.
Yeah, most likely.
We've never been there, but it just looks unbelievable. Switzerland was the first country I had in mind when I wanted to leave Denmark. I love Switzerland for many things. I love that they have this direct democracies where each canton has its own rules. All the people in each canton, they care about what's going on in their society because everything that is made of new rules and laws affects them directly. It's not centralized like in every other European country, and I like that. Taxes are super low because you have very high efficiency. Going to the hospital in Switzerland is like going to a 5-star hotel. It is an expensive country, but income is also very high. The nature of Switzerland is unbelievable. The location is very good. Denmark is an hour away. Portugal is an hour away. I think Switzerland is a great option, but from what we've heard, Swiss people are pretty uptight. You know, that goes back to the culture and soul. I want to be a place where people are happy and joyful and relaxed.
I love Mexico. I think we went last year for a month and a half, I think, in Mexico, and I fell in love with it. There are things that I don't like about Mexico, but I mainly just love Mexico. The food is incredible. They have good taxes and they have a low cost of living. But then you have the nature and the culture of Mexico. I really love how they are partying, how they have festivals all the time like they do here in Portugal. And the food, the tacos. I get so hungry just talking about this.
And we traveled across the whole country. We were in Cancun, Mexico City, San Miguel de Allende, Guanajuato, Mazatlan, Oaxaca. We really got around the country, and mutual for everywhere we were was that we felt safe. Just as safe as we do in Europe. And I was so surprised because everyone talks about Mexico being this 50-50, you will die if you go there.
But I think, Jon, I want to be the devil's advocate here because I do think when you get in trouble in Mexico, you really get in trouble in Mexico.
Yes, but I mean, it's the same in Denmark. You can
No,
be in the
it's
wrong
not.
spot. You can be stabbed down or, you know, it's Belgium, you know, whatever.
It's not the same because the chances for you to die in Mexico for doing something wrong is much bigger than in the rest of the world. Because if you in Denmark do something wrong...
You sound like the news.
No, I'm literally just being realistic. We didn't have any issues.
featuring live with Amelia. The chances of you just being slaughtered, gunned down by minding your own business is vanishingly slow. And if you're going to be concerned about that, you might also be concerned about renting a car on your way to Portugal. Oh, and another thing is that they're so far behind when it comes to finding rentals that people, they don't put them up on the internet, they put up a sign in the window. So basically, you have to find the neighborhood you want to live in, and then you walk around looking at windows and see, are there any apartments for rent? And then you can call the number, but you don't even know how big is it. Is it nice? What does it look like?
What does it cost?
Yeah, and that's a huge problem. The next one is probably your preferred place. No?
Jon put this one on the list, which I don't really get it. I think Jon put... Costa Rica is a place that Jon put on this list because he watched a documentary about this community that is like self-sustainable.
That's in Paraguay. Costa Rica appeals to me because I have a life goal of living as a fruitarian for a year. In Costa Rica, you have organic fruits you just pick whenever you want. So I would love to live somewhere in...
You want to challenge the church bell?
See, you don't find the churches in nature. Honestly, Costa Rica is not a serious contender. It's just, from what we hear, the food is actually terrible. It's quite expensive, but I do like the idea of having infinite fruits. And I do like the idea of living in a jungle. It would be problematic to have Lara with us.
She would be eaten by a snake.
She would be eaten by something. How do you feel about Brazil?
I really, really like Brazil. When we went to Brazil, I fell in love with the country. And it would make sense to go to a country where you actually know the language, which we kind of do by now after 5 years.
Fala português?
Sí, claro.
Por que fala português?
Porque eu tenho 5 anos aqui.
Pode ter uma conversação completa?
Só em português?
Sim.
Claro. With all the love I actually do have for Brazil, I wouldn't live in Brazil. And there are several reasons for it. I think that I would miss my family too much. It would be quite inconvenient to travel home, and it would be very expensive for my family to come visit me here. They're already struggling coming to Madeira because of their economy.
You have direct flights from Brazil to Denmark.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
You love Brazil. Like, you were ready to move when we went there.
No, that's not true.
You kind of said that.
I love that Brazil is so antiquated, in the sense that you don't have the same corporate takeover as you see everywhere else. It's like what Europe was in the 70s and 80s. Small individual mom and pop shops. It's very affordable. The people are very, joyful, full of love. In terms of safety, we walked around with this camera on the streets in Rio and everywhere basically where we were. We never had any concerns.
But you are not really that free, because if you enter the wrong favela, you are
Amelia,
toast.
Don't worry about that, because I will not venture out to the favelas for the fun of it.
But that's my point. You are not that free when you really consider it.
No, but let me tell you why I think I would be free in Brazil, because I saw this video of Lenny Kravitz.
Welcome to my fazenda.
He has a farm in Brazil, which is honestly the #1 dream I can imagine having being realized. Night. Night. It's so hungry. It's such a tropical, beautiful country. And if you like the idea of being self-sustainable and never having to rely on any supermarket, it's a place to be. It's a very resourceful country, but it is far away. And also, there is a lot of political unrest, I think, after the last election. But I don't really think I would mind. I mean, there is everywhere in this world.
There's definitely one thing that I found very challenging with being in Brazil, and that is that you are always confronted with the poverty. Like, we went to visit a favela and seeing how they are living, and then after you retire to your luxury apartment, I don't like that.
They seem happy in the favelas.
They seem happy, and that's beautiful, but I don't want to participate in them being poor, Yeah. I don't know.
It's a cruel world, Amelia.
I know. Yeah.
We're at the last potential country.
Which, again, I don't think we agree.
Mauritius. The only reason we really have this on the list is because our very close friend, he is obsessed with Mauritius. He sends us daily reminders. Hey guys, you should probably move to Mauritius.
Because he's going probably, and then he wants to take us with him.
And he lives.
I don't buy it.
And he lives here in Madeira, and he thinks that Mauritius is a utopia, and Madeira is kind of a shit.
I'm so offended about that.
Yes.
But okay, let's be positive.
It's beautiful.
It's the temperature is my heart temperature.
That's
it's
the
so
problem
tropical,
for me.
so warm.
Way too warm.
Mainly sunny.
Mainly humid.
And that I really like. I like the big stretches of white sand beaches where you can just lay in the sand, making sand stars, you know.
It's very in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Perhaps as middle of nowhere you can get.
But
I was surprised to learn that it really has the modern amenities of Singapore. But I don't want to live in air condition, you know. And I think I'm afraid that I will in a place like Mauritius.
Remember when we had the heat stroke here?
Oh yeah.
For a long time, you didn't want to go outside, and we were just on Madeira Island, and this was low temperature as Mauritius standard.
It was like 32 every day for like 127
but
days.
But in Mauritius, it can get 40.
No,
and it's humid.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I mean, you don't get 40 degrees in humid conditions.
Sort of.
No.
Sort of.
I think Mauritius would be a good selection if we had a private jet.
Yes, if we were completely wealthy, yeah.
But I don't think we have to pick one.
And we can pick Portugal, which is the best of all.
Yes, we don't want to leave Portugal, but there is they want ransom, and the ransom is that we move to another country. Otherwise, they'll kill Lara.
Okay. I would pick Italy.
Italy?
Yeah.
I would pick Lenny Kravitz's farm.
Welcome to my fazenda.
Oh, but that's a dream scenario. We could not afford it.
Okay, I would pick Greece. Even if we had all the money in the world, we would probably still live in Portugal. And I think that's what's interesting.
Yeah. With all choices.
There's nowhere else we'd rather be. And I think that's we're very happy and privileged to feel that way, you know?
Yeah, we're not going anywhere.
So that's it, guys. See you in the next one.
No, first, let us know where you would live. Like your dream destination. It doesn't have to be on our list. Just any dream destination and why. See you in the next one. We're going to film the next one right now.
Are we? Bye.
See you. If I was like multi-millionaire and had my own private jet, yeah, I would go live in Melbourne maybe.